Stewardship, Grace, and the Courage to Protect Your Peace. A guide for mothers of special needs children on financial planning, legacy, and trusting God's sovereignty. Written by Susanna Sunday. To the mother reading this, God did not make a mistake. When He formed your child and when He chose you to be their mother, He saw every diagnosis. He saw every sleepless night, every therapy bill, every financial strain, and every tear you would cry in the quiet hours of the morning. He saw every person who would misunderstand you, minimize you, and judge you from the comfortable distance of a life they have never had to live. He saw all of it, and He still said, "Her." You are not an accident. Your child is not a burden. You were specifically, intentionally, and sovereignly chosen for this journey. Yet living through what you are living through requires a profound level of grace, resilience, and wisdom. One of the heaviest burdens you carry is the financial weight of the future. The questions that keep you awake are real and legitimate. What happens if my child outlives me? How do I ensure they are cared for when I am no longer here? What if I pass away before they are settled? What about the others I will leave behind? How do I manage the little or the much that I have right now when the demands on it are so great? These questions are not signs of a lack of faith. They are the questions of a faithful, responsible, and deeply loving mother. And they deserve real, practical answers. This is a guide to financial stewardship, legacy planning, and protecting your peace. It is about understanding that ultimately God is in control of everything, but that He has called you to be a wise steward of the resources He has placed in your hands. He is the owner. You are the manager. And a good manager plans ahead. Part 1, the Theology of Stewardship. You are a manager, not the owner. In the secular world, conversations about money center on ownership, accumulation, and personal achievement. But the biblical perspective is entirely different. God owns it all. We are simply stewards or managers of what He has entrusted to us. Psalm 24 verse 1 says, "The earth is the Lord's, and everything in it, the world, and all who live in it." When you view your finances through the lens of stewardship rather than ownership, it shifts the pressure off your shoulders in a profound way. You are not required to generate infinite wealth. You are not required to match the financial contributions or lifestyle of people whose circumstances bear no resemblance to yours. You are only required to faithfully manage what is in your hands today. Whether you are managing a sudden windfall, a modest income, or a tight monthly budget stretched thin by medical expenses, the principle remains the same. Manage it wisely, avoid unnecessary debt, protect what you have, and plan for the future. The amount is secondary. The faithfulness is primary. The principle of preservation. Financial experts often speak of a concept called the freedom figure, the amount of money needed to generate enough interest to live on without ever touching the principal amount. A common rule of thumb is that if you multiply your desired annual income by 25, you arrive at the capital you need to sustain it indefinitely. If you receive an inheritance, a life insurance payout, a redundancy settlement, or any sudden influx of funds, the greatest mistake you can make is to increase your standard of living immediately. The wisest first move is always preservation. Pay off high-interest debts, including credit cards, personal loans, and any debt that is actively growing. Avoid lending money to family or friends, as this is one of the fastest ways to destroy relationships and lose resources at the same time. Then, seek professional advice to invest what remains wisely. Your goal is not to buy things. Your goal is to buy time and security for your family, and most especially for your child. Part 2. Legal and financial structures that protect your child. For a mother of a special needs child, financial planning carries a dimension that most people never have to consider. It is not simply about retirement or leaving a comfortable inheritance. It is about ensuring that your child's care continues seamlessly. 1. Life insurance. Creating a safety net. Life insurance is one of the most effective and accessible ways to ensure there is a financial safety net for your child if you pass away unexpectedly. There is a critical rule to understand. Never name your special needs child directly as the beneficiary of a life insurance policy without first obtaining specialist legal advice. Doing so may disqualify them from vital government assistance programs such as Medicaid, SSI, or the equivalent disability benefits in your country. Instead, where the law in your jurisdiction permits it, the policy may be directed to an appropriate special needs or disability trust, with the trust named as the beneficiary. 2. The Special Needs Trust. The cornerstone of your plan. A special needs trust is a legal arrangement designed to hold and manage assets for a person with a disability in a way that may preserve their eligibility for government assistance programs. Its name, form, and effect vary between countries. Obtain specialist advice in the jurisdiction that governs your family and your assets. The trust may be funded through your estate, your life insurance policy, savings, or contributions from extended family members. Grandparents, for example, may be able to contribute directly to the trust rather than giving money to the child. 3. Wills and estate planning. The full picture. A will alone may not be sufficient for a special needs family. Your will must work in tandem with the appropriate trust and wider estate plan for your jurisdiction. You may need to make 2 critical designations: a guardian, or the person nominated to take over the physical day-to-day care of a minor child, and a trustee who will manage the financial assets within the trust. These do not have to be, and in many cases should not be, the same person. Separating the roles creates a natural system of checks and balances. For an adult who lacks capacity, the legal arrangements and the court's role will depend on the law of the relevant jurisdiction. 4. Immediate, low-cost steps you can take today. If formal trusts feel financially out of reach right now, do not allow the enormity of the ideal plan to paralyze you from taking any action at all. Doing something is infinitely better than doing nothing. Create a letter of intent. This is a non-legal living document that contains everything a future caregiver would need to know to care for your child. Include daily routines, medical history, medications, allergies, favorite foods, calming techniques, known triggers, sensory sensitivities, and communication methods. It costs nothing but time, and it could be the most important document you ever write. Organize your paperwork. Consolidate all critical documents in one place: your child's IEP or EHCP, all medical diagnoses, birth certificates, insurance policies, and bank account information. Explore an appropriate disability savings account where one exists. In the United States, an ABLE account may allow an eligible person with a disability and their family to save for qualified disability expenses while protecting access to certain means-tested benefits. Other countries have different arrangements, so obtain advice about the rules that apply where you live. Part 3. The Weaponisation of Fear. Recognizing when others use your vulnerability against you. While you are navigating therapies, legal structures, and daily survival, there is another challenge you face that is rarely spoken about openly: the manipulation of others who use your financial vulnerability as a tool of control. The 3 tactics of social gaslighting. Spiritual weaponization sounds like this: if you had more faith, you would not be so worried about money. This tactic takes the language of your own faith and turns it into a weapon against your wisdom. Planning for your child's future is not fear, it is faithfulness. The character attack sounds like this: you are being unreasonable, or you are so selfish. The goal is to make you feel that the problem is not the situation, it is you. The rewrite of history sounds like this: you have just whittled away your money. You have always been bad with finances. This tactic erases the context of your life entirely. How to respond? Do not feed into it. You do not owe anyone an itemized account of your child's medical costs, your monthly expenses, or your financial decisions. You do not need to justify your no. Setting up a trust, buying life insurance, saying no to extended family financial demands, and protecting your resources is not a lack of faith. It is the very definition of biblical stewardship. Proverbs 21 verse 20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." Part 4. The ultimate anchor. God is in control. You can set up the most comprehensive special needs trust. You can purchase the best life insurance policy. You can write an airtight will, organize every document, and designate the most trustworthy guardian and trustee. You should take every appropriate step available to you. But at the end of all of it, your peace cannot rest in the legal documents. Your peace must rest in the sovereignty of God. He is already in your child's future. He was there before you arrived at the diagnosis, before you sat in the first specialist's office, before you began to understand the full weight of what your life would require. He was there, and he was not surprised. He chose you with full knowledge of every resource you would have and every resource you would lack. He chose you anyway. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This promise was not made to people whose lives were easy. It was made to people in exile, people who were far from home, living in circumstances they did not choose, wondering if God had forgotten them. He had not forgotten them. He has not forgotten you. You are called to manage what is in your hands today. You are called to plan wisely, protect fiercely, and steward faithfully. But you are not called to carry the weight of the entire future on your own shoulders. That weight belongs to God. You are a good mother. You are a wise steward. You are a deeply loved daughter of a God who sees you, knows you, and has never, not for a single moment, made a mistake about you. This film is intended for information and encouragement. For legal and financial planning specific to your circumstances and jurisdiction, please consult a qualified solicitor or estate planning lawyer and a certified financial planner who has experience with special needs families. Visit MothersFaith.xyz. Subscribe and share Mercy Daily. Copyright 2026, Susanna Sunday Ministries. All rights reserved.